Welcome back to the build. You've been watching me do cabinets for like 4 or 5 videos. You're probably really tired of watching me do cabinets. I'm really tired of doing cabinets. This final video in the cabinet series, I'm going to do all the finishing touches and all the little details that I couldn't do before because I had to either order parts or wait for something else to happen or whatever. Today is the last cabinet video, so let's go finish all the cabinets, do all the little things, then we can move on to something else and get on with our lives. I wired up the island today. When we originally built the house, we weren't sure 100% how we were going to do power. I knew I did not want to put outlets in the side of the cabinets to try and find like outlet covers that matched the wood and go through that nightmare. I wanted no exposed outlets. So basically we wired the receptacle in the pantry down, and we just coiled up the wire under the basement, under the floor in the basement, and left it there so that when we did figure this out, we'd have a leg to pull on. And so that's what I did. I pulled that leg up here. This wire goes directly over to that receptacle. That's it. Then I had to pull a separate home run from the circuit breaker panel, electrical panel, up to here. So this will connect to this in a junction box inside this cabinet, and that will power that outlet, which is also a GFCI outlet now because I used a combination breaker, which is arc fault and GFCI. I mean, that's all they had for that Eaton panel that I have, and it was like 60 bucks, which is ridiculous for a breaker. But it's the combination breaker that has everything in it. Hopefully it works. I mean, and it'll pass code for sure because all this is supposed to be GFCI. Anyway, this will all connect into a junction box. Then I'll run a little 1-foot whip to the outlet strip that we're going to put here, which would be a black 30-inch wide direct wire. I think it has, I don't know, 6, 8 outlets. So there'll be outlets from here to here, which is why we designed this with a tall top rail and shorter doors. When the countertop overhangs it, you'll never see it, and you can work here. Because this will be flat, we didn't have like a raised eating bar right there. It's all flat. We didn't want any outlets in the surface because then you'll get water in them or whatever. So you can pull all your appliances out and just plug, rock and roll, unplug them, put them away. Remember a couple videos ago when I was working on this downstairs bath vanity and I couldn't finish it because my drawer pulls were too big and fat for the drawer fronts, and I had to order new pulls. Well, they just came in. Yeah. All right, so there's not much room in here to get a good angle, but I did get the drawer fronts and the hardware on. Those shorter pulls match just about exactly, so that worked out good. And I used those clips to put that panel on so it's removable, which is cool. And everything worked out. So I guess next I'll work on putting those little hinges on that false drawer front and move on to the next thing. Okay, I got the little tip-out hinges on here, so wasn't too bad at all. Worked pretty good. Now, like I said, I'm going to wait till I actually get the countertop and the sink mounted here before I put any kind of tray behind that drawer front. So you may have noticed that this side weird cabinet orientation here leaves this bare surface, which are finished end panels, and they kind of look weird with the rest of the kitchen because we have applied panels that we're going to do. So I think I'm going to mess with that right now, kind of see what it looks like, get this mocked up, and see if I can get these on here. So here's the upper. It's basically just a door. It's a full door. It's just not, drilled for hinges or anything. But I got a little clamp here with a block. Just kind of lays right there like that. I'm going to clamp it, mock it up, and then just kind of figure it out. So that's actually how it's supposed to be. I looked at the drawing. It's supposed to be equally centered with the same reveal on left and right, flush at the bottom. Top reveal should match the rest of the doors, which it does. So that looks pretty cool. I'm going to try the spray adhesive on the inside of the frame, and hopefully that's enough sticky. I'll clamp it and let it sit for a while, and hopefully that's enough to hold it. I've used it on drawer fronts. That works pretty good, but this is kind of heavier. It's an actual door, and like I said, with the panels are MDF, so they don't move because it's painted, so we didn't care. So that makes it a little heavier. So I'm gonna go ahead and spray this and see if it holds. Looks like an orthopedic surgery job. So I don't know if this glue is gonna work because there are gaps, but this face frame overhangs the finished end by maybe 1/8. And that creates just enough gap that you can't get a glue surface contact there. I mean, it does contact in some places, but it's not the whole way. So because this frame sticks out and creates that little gap, you got a little bit of a angle gap there going on. So I don't want to screw into the side of the cabinet, into that panel, but underneath here I can. So I'm going to put a couple screws through the bottom into that panel, and that'll hold it there. What I actually should have done was put these on before I hung the cabinets so that I could get to the top of it up there. But, you know, live and learn. All right, well, that seemed to work. Got a couple screws down in here. I did go ahead and put one in there, which I didn't want to, but I don't want this thing to fall off because it's pretty heavy. And so, turned out pretty good. Let's see. Give it to me. There we go. Oh yeah, that ain't going anywhere. Perfect. Perfect. Huh. Today's episode is sponsored by one of our favorite new brands, Trade Coffee. If you're an avid coffee drinker like we are, then Trade Coffee will be right up your alley. The best tasting coffee is always freshly roasted, and we love to roast our own beans. We even made a video about how we do it in our current off-grid living situation. Unfortunately, in the current supply chain crunch, the coffee selection is limited at the grocery store at best. The solution? Trade connects you with the best new coffees from the nation's top local roasters that you can't find in the store anyhow. It's super simple. Here's how it works. Step 1, take the quiz on the Trade website. Answer questions about how you like your coffee, and Trade will curate matches just for you. Next, choose your delivery frequency, and it'll appear at your doorstep, roasted and shipped within 24 hours of ordering, delivered at peak freshness so you never run out. Then just rate and repeat. Rate your matches so Trade can continue to delight you with coffees you'll love. One of my personal favorites is this newsstand blend from Sparrow's Coffee, brewed fresh in our French press. We like how they ship their coffee in compostable packaging, and Trade guarantees you'll love your first coffee. But if you don't, they'll ship you a different bag for free. So for the coffee lover in your life, give them better coffee this holiday season with a personalized gift subscription of their freshly roasted favorites. Our viewers will get $15 off their first 3 bags with free shipping when they sign up. Just take the quiz by clicking this link in the description box below, and you'll be enjoying this freshly roasted coffee in a couple of days. Now back to the build. Now I think I'll work on finishing off these end panels to make this island look like it's supposed to. 1/4 inch cherry plywood that is nice and finished. Well, that's snazzy. I mean, that is going to be a perfect fit. They did such a nice job. So I got to pull this up and flush it with the top of the face frame. I guess I'll clamp along here. I'm just going to spray that glue because I should have a nice solid bonding surface. Actually, I'm going to use wood glue on this because this is unfinished wood. Seems my crazy Frankenstein orthopedic surgical clamping job turned out pretty darn nice. That thing's stuck on there really good. I let it sit for about an hour and a half, pulled the clamps. Now it's like one finished piece. Might as well do the other side now. Frankenstein end panel number 2. This works pretty well. Gotta do what you gotta do. All right, it's the next day, and we're going to take off these clamps. Voila. Can you imagine doing a whole library wainscoted in these raised panels? And we're going to space these up here like EA. All right, I'm gonna let this glue up contraption dry a little bit here and move on to the back of the island. That is the sitting area. I gotta put same 1/4 inch pre-finished plywood skins on the back here and have them right here. So that's gonna sit on here like so. Flush with the top. The sides project a 1/4 inch past the back. So there's nothing to glue this to. So I'm going to cut some 1/2 inch plywood strips vertically and just do 6, 7 of them. So then I'll run glue onto those strips, push this right up to it. I need a centerpiece here because 2 of these pieces need to butt up against each other. Then I think we'll put a trim piece down the center. You're never going to see it anyway because the cabinet's going to come out to here. Basically, this island will be finished except for toe kick and countertop. So I'm going to finish it up today. So I was able to use a bunch of tongue and groove ceiling plank cutoffs, scraps, and now we have blocking. Now I'm just going to glue it all up and stick it on. All right, well, all of the end panels are on. The applied panels turned out pretty nice. Really gives it a nice finished look. Yeah, good. All right. Just got the power strip. This is direct wire, which is what I was looking all over for because I didn't want one of the big cords coming out of it and have to deal with that. I was able to run my 12-2 wire up in between these cabinets, drilled a 1-inch hole into the side here, and I put the J box. There's a little junction box right there. I'll show you that in a second, but I was trying to get it to where I haven't fastened the junction box down yet. And I want to get this to where I can orient it so I can go straight out of the knockout through this rail into the J box, and I won't have to worry about anything like conduit. So the inspectors aren't yelling at me. So everything will be enclosed the whole way. So this is just a simple little power strip. We're going to mount right here, and then it'll be covered by the countertop once that's installed. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 outlets. Knock this out, get this installed, then I'll show you what it looks like. It was a little more tedious than I anticipated, but we got her going. Now you got a power strip. Well, with the exception of toe, kick, baseboard, and crown, I think all of the cabinets are finally complete. Thank goodness, and thank all of you for sticking with us through this entire project. I know it was like 5 or 6 videos maybe, but I had never gone through the project this big before. I built a lot of cabinets, but I never built an entire island. I never did vanities with weird cabinets like that. It was really fun. And I think what was most fun, or what made it fun, was so many different types of cabinets and different challenges. I'm really happy with how everything turned out. This is probably one of the biggest projects of the build in terms of detail and cost, and where you want to get the most bang for your buck, and where you want to kind of invest your money, because that holds the most value of your house if you're thinking about things in terms of that. Got my little Christmas tree going on here Jamie brought up. We may not be in here by Christmas, but it'll be very close. But even if not, we got our little tree. Next video, I think we're going to move outside a little bit. We are supposed to actually get a couple days, maybe a week of in the 60s. So I'm going to try and get some more work done on this porch outside. Beam wrapped, column wrapped, ceiling on. We are expecting to have our railing materials here in the next week or so. I'd really like to get that done in December if it's even possible, because the railings are a huge code thing for getting our certificate of occupancy and being able to move in here. So that'll be the next video. I want to thank Trade Coffee for sponsoring this video. If you're looking for gift ideas this holiday season, check out the link below and give someone some coffee for Christmas. Until then, that's going to do it for this one. We'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching. And Merry Christmas.